Hello, everybody. Happy Memorial Day. Make it a great one. Remembering all of those who died defending this great nation of ours that had its beginning back in 1776 with the Declaration of Independence from Great Britain. And I'm Paul Collins, and this is my wife Nancy across the table from me. And we know that many of you right now will have to you're probably catching this program by replay, by recording. But those of you who aren't, we are live right now, 10 o'clock Central Daylight Time, Springfield, Missouri, place I fondly call Springburg, USA, my adopted hometown. Well, good morning, Nancy.
Good morning, sugar.
Happy Memorial Day.
I know that's right. Blessed. Happy Memorial Day.
Blessed abundantly. Well, this is the bucket list, and what it means is you have a to-do list, and down at the bottom of the bucket are the things that we bring up for you to do now instead of putting them down at the bottom of your to-do list. Are you thinking, Nancy?
Yeah, I thought of something. It's all because of what I saw on the TV yesterday or this morning. It's probably yesterday. There's this generation that has so many questions, I'll put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know things all because they didn't learn it in school. It's history. A lot of it was history, and they've started taking a bunch of stuff out of schools.
I saw in the news this morning that there's some community that's now going to require, starting in the fall semester, that the history of the Holocaust be taught because they found out that many of the school-age children and those out of school in the last several years thought that the Holocaust was something that the Jews did.
Yeah.
They didn't realize that it was done by Nazi Germany, by Hitler and his followers. So they really wasn't just a case of being ignorant about the Holocaust, but they were misinformed. So,
yeah. And the thing of it is, to go above that, and I guess I won't say any more about it, it's really spiritual warfare. And if you don't know about spiritual warfare, you need to know about it.
Well, you can find out by going through the Acts Media Group website, contacting me. I'll be glad to explain it, or Nancy will. Now, topic for today is Medicare. Here's the deal, folks. If you are 50 or above, you really need to be paying attention to what we're going to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Not because we know it all, but because we've experienced a lot of it. But also, if you're 45 or above, I don't know if you realize it or not, but you're eligible to join AARP, the American Association of Retired Persons. I joined AARP 40 years ago when I was 45. This coming Saturday, June 5th, I'll be 86. So I've been a member of AARP for over 40 years. Anyway, those of you who are even at age 40, you need to be paying attention to what we're going to tell you, because if something happened to you on your job or otherwise and you became disabled, you would be involved with Social Security earlier than you anticipated, and that would involve you in Medicare earlier than you anticipated. So this little presentation about Medicare and retirement is going to be vitally important to you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want to preface this by saying, if you are depending totally on Social Security for your retirement down the road, whether you're 40, 45, 50, whatever your age may be, you're making a mistake, because we're not certain about the future of Social Security. A lot of things can change in the coming years. It may still be here. It may not. If it's here, it may be in a different form or shape, and it may not. We just don't know. We cannot predict anything, and therefore we have to be prepared for anything.
That's
now,
right.
To prepare for retirement, you really need to get some expert input. If you leave it up to yourself, it'll always be on your to-do list and it'll never get done. So you need to start now thinking, first of all, about where are you going to get good counsel, good advice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it starts right here. I'm advising you, get a good financial planner. There are those who are certified financial planners. They are CFPs after their name, certified financial planners. But you need to shop around for one. Don't just jump on board with the first one that comes down the pike.
That's right.
You can, nowadays, there's no excuse for not shopping around since almost everybody has access to a computer. Now, not everybody has a computer, I know that, but almost everybody has access to a computer. If you don't, you're in a world of hurt because the yellow pages almost don't exist anymore. And if they do, they don't list everybody. The internet's where you find your information. It's an internet world. So go online and check around at certified financial planners in your area, wherever you live in the United States of America. Those of you who are overseas listening to this broadcast, welcome aboard. We're glad to have you, glad that you are with us. However, what we're saying may not be relevant directly to you, but only indirectly, but it still has value because retirement comes any place in the world. Sometime at least you get to the point where you're physically unable to work. Mm-hmm. So it does happen. Anyway, good financial planner. Shop around for one. What would you look for in a financial planner? You want to look for someone who is well connected, because if she isn't well connected to the financial world, to the economic system, to the global outlook on what's going on with material assets, non-material assets, money, all these things, then you've got the wrong financial planner. You need one who is well connected with everything that's going on all around the world in every system, whether it's the stock market, whether it's cryptocurrency, whether it's precious metals, whether it's real estate, land, real estate, trust, stocks, all those things. Because if he or she is well connected, then that increases your options. Mm-hmm. Now, you want to make sure that even though they're well connected, that they don't have a blind spot about certain things to invest in. For instance, I know a financial planner who has a blind spot about precious metals. No, he's not interested at all. So he will never, ever, ever help his clients get involved in precious metals. Now, precious metals, that's gold, silver, platinum, some others that I can't even pronounce, but we're very familiar with silver and gold. And that's a hard asset, or you can get certificates that attest that you own interest in that. I think you need to have a financial planner who's open to you actually owning some physical silver and gold. Just my advice. For what it's worth, from a non-expert, I'm a preacher. I'm not a financial planner, but I've had some experience over the years. Now, I also know a financial planner that is so high on silver and gold and precious metals that you have to dig stock market information out of him, because he's really focused on silver and gold, for instance. So make sure that you get a financial planner who doesn't have a blind spot about various aspects of assets. Mm-hmm. Now, it's also helpful to have a financial planner who understands insurance. This doesn't mean that he or she has to be a licensed insurance agent, but they probably will be in some form of insurance. Because you see, if you have a financial planner who is really big on annuities are nothing more than really an insurance policy. And I can't explain anything more about this, and not the show to do it on, but you can be certain that if you have a financial planner, he or she will probably spend some time with you involving annuities. An annuity is usually it's underwritten by an insurance company, and you draw money off of it monthly for whenever. But there's another thing that a financial planner will help you with, and that is extended care insurance. Mm-hmm. If you live long enough, there is the possibility that you or your spouse or your mom, your dad, whatever, all of you listening to me need to hear this. There is a strong possibility that you will end up in a nursing home facility.
I know, but couldn't you have at-home care?
Or at-home care, one of the two. If you get the right extended care insurance through the right financial planner, then it will pay X amount of dollars for nursing home care and the same amount of X amount of dollars for in-home care. When you're at the point, age-wise and health-wise, that you cannot take care of yourself totally, completely independently. Now, the nursing home industry is growing and growing and growing. It's been quite famous during the pandemic, especially in the state of New York, when the governor there used nursing homes as a place to put COVID-19 patients, and there were a lot of deaths in nursing homes. I can tell you, folks, from experience, my wife, Nancy, is a nurse. She spent her entire nursing career in caring for people who were geriatric, older folks, people in a nursing home, same nursing home. 32 years she worked in the same nursing home as a nurse. In nursing homes, people die. But nowadays, some people go home from nursing homes too.
That's right.
But it is a major industry. In fact, it's being used increasingly in many communities by hospitals as a place for some rehabilitation to take place following your hospital stay if you are Medicare. All right. So nursing homes, your financial planner ought to have knowledge of extended care insurance and nursing homes. As of 2017, and that's been 4 years ago, 4 million people in the United States lived in nursing homes. And 2/3 of those were relying on Medicaid, mainly because they had not planned for retirement and to go beyond Medicare. Medicaid is different than Medicare. We'll get to that perhaps before this broadcast is over. 5% in 2017, 5% of the people who were 65 and older lived in nursing homes. Think about that. 31.9% were living with their families. So 65 and beyond, you may not be living independent lives like Nancy and I live in our own home, mowing our own yard, doing our own thing. Many people 65 and beyond aren't able to do that. In 2017, almost 32% of them were living with family, and 5% were living in nursing homes. Now, over the last 20 years, ages 65 to 84 population has increased. It's continuing to increase. It's increased by more than 20%. So that means by now it's increased by more than 25%. And the 85 plus population increased by more than 80%. So it's probably increased by 85%. Think about that. People are living longer. As I mentioned, I think a few minutes ago, this coming Saturday, June 5th, I'll be 86. There's a lot of us around, folks, and more of us coming on board all the time. So a good financial planner can help you with nursing home, with extended care, either in the nursing home or in your own home. Now, there's another kind of retirement that you really have to be prepared for financially in order to handle, and that is a retirement home. There are some folks who can afford to live someplace where they have their own apartment, they have a game room, they have a day room where they can visit with other people, and they're provided 3 meals a day and all the service of house cleaning and so forth, laundry, everything. And but it takes some dollars to live there. Now, there's a lot of those facilities around. You may think, well, you'd never want to do that. Well, okay, drop down to another level. A lot of folks who are retired have given up their homes and live in apartments. All of a sudden, it has become very expensive to live in apartments, to get in a nice apartment. There was a time when people could weigh what it cost them to live in their home with taxes and insurance and upkeep against the cost of downsizing from a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, we'll say, into a 2-bedroom apartment. And it was more affordable, not necessarily anymore. When you check the prices on apartments, you will discover they've really gone up majorly. Any place where someone who currently can afford to live in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with an attached garage on a lot, you may not be able to afford to live in an apartment that you would consider being in the right part of town with the right amenities, the right size, etc. So now's the time to be keeping track of trends. A financial planner, the right financial planner, can help you with these kinds of decisions. Now, here's another angle. I know a financial planner who is really big on reverse mortgages. He tried to sell us on reverse mortgages many times. I can tell you, for me, no, I'm not interested. I've known some people with reverse mortgages, and it turned out to be a mistake. You need to understand when you see these ads on TV, whether it's Tom Selleck, well-known TV actor and movie actor, or whoever it is trying to sell you on a reverse mortgage, listen, if they didn't make money on it, they wouldn't be selling it. You need to keep it in mind. I know one couple right now that live in a rural area. They both have health issues. They need to be close to medical attention. They are not. They are 45 minutes away. They have a reverse mortgage on their home. If they don't live in that home, then the mortgage company takes it. And they are now, because I made a recommendation, someone to help them, because the real estate prices have gone up, they have a chance of being able to get out of that reverse mortgage and move in to a city closer to medical care. But that's rare. In most cases, if you get a reverse mortgage, most people are stuck with it. And before you make that step, you really need to check things out. If you have a financial planner that's promoting reverse mortgages, I suggest you get a second opinion and a third opinion. And don't get it from someone who's in the industry. Got to get it from outside. Talk to somebody. Do your due diligence, as they say. Now, Nancy, we come to this part about preparing financially for retirement. When do you begin? Well, let's say you're 50 years old and you haven't started yet. Well, you better start because the future of Social Security, which Medicare is a part of the Social Security, and Medicare has to do with your health. And the older you get, the more health services you need. Hang on, folks, listen to me. The older you get, the more you will need medical attention. That's one reason why in the United States people are living longer. Good medical care. Now, that medical attention primarily will be through Medicare, and that's a government program. Medicare is a part of, really, the Social Security system. All of that is rather nebulous. We don't know the future of Social Security or of Medicare or of Medicaid. We don't know. So you must take responsibility for your future. Do your due diligence. Here's how you can begin. Let's say that you're 50 years old. If you do a budget check, like I've advocated on this program in the past, if you need to know this stuff, go back and look at some of the old broadcasts of the bucket list, or send me an email through axmediagroup.com, and I'll be glad to update you. But you have to learn how to save, and you have to learn how to invest. You have to learn how to spend. Then you can learn how to get more. Here's the thing. At age 50, if you can find a way to save, let's say you can save $2,000 a month. Now listen, that may sound like a lot, but I guarantee you it can be done if you're still working and you have an income. Generally speaking, it's husband and wife both working. You will be amazed if you take a close look at your spending that you have a spending problem that will result in a money problem when it's retirement. So take a look at it. If you can cut back and save $2,000 a month in 10 months, that's $20,000. So let's just do with that. We could say 12 months, 24,000. Now, what $24,000? Then you have 10 years. 10 years times 24,000 is $240,000. Now, let's say you're going to go from 50 to 65 before you retire. So you got another 5 years you can throw in there. You're looking at 240,000 and another 62,000, 65,000. Another, just round it off, another 60,000. No, it's more. Another 60,000 or more, 100,000. Anyway, my arithmetic's failing me right now. You're looking at probably $400,000. $400,000 to maybe even $500,000 in those 15 years. If you handle that with the right financial planner, that could be generating a couple $1,000s a month income to add to your Social Security, if there is Social Security. If there isn't, you will have a $2,000 a month income. If the global economy goes south, remember what I said about silver and gold. So, folks, there is a way to prepare. And if this sounds so complicated, you say, oh, I don't want to mess with it. Well, just wait till you get to be retirement age, or you, God forbid, you get disabled. Then you really will have complications. So life is life. Life is real. Life can be tough. But there's an old saying, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. I'm recommending you get tough now. Also, not only am I recommending that you find a way to save so that you can add to your Social Security retirement, but I'm recommending that you get really tough about it. Make a commitment. There's a certain amount of gratification that comes when you have the first small victory where you didn't spend something, and then you get another victory and another victory and another victory. I know someone that is spending several $100s a month on playing golf. And he's my age. He's been doing that since he retired 20 years ago. What if he'd been saving all of that? We don't know what the result would have been. But I'm not saying don't play golf. I'm just saying take a look at where your money's going. Anyway, now then, about Medicare. I did my research this morning online, which you can do. You can go online. All you have to do with the search engine, you know what it is up there, a little blank spot you type in. Just type in Medicare. It's that simple. Up will come these options. I wanted to know about Medicare Part A, Part B, and Part C. So I typed in Medicare. It gave me the options. Part A benefits. They're right here in this little 3x5 card. Here's what it provides. Now, Medicare becomes available right now when you're 65. Later on, it'll probably be 70, whatever. So now's the time to be preparing. But remember, this is involving your health. And by the way, Nancy, sometime in August, I think the first Monday in August maybe, we're going to be interviewing our primary care physician. She's been on the broadcast with us when we were doing the happy hour twice. She's going to be on the bucket list and talk about health issues as you get older, things to attend to in advance of getting older. Her name is Dr. Jamie Durfee. She's a young woman. She's very beautiful, very smart, and she's our primary care physician. We love her to pieces, and she loves us too. And we're going to have her on the show to talk about some things to do about your health in advance. So, Part A, it provides inpatient care in a hospital.
Mhm.
Now, how long can you be there? That depends on federal and state regulations and the companies that administer these benefits. So you can't say, well, you're going to go to the hospital and stay forever on
No.
Medicare. No, they'll get you out of there pretty fast. Nancy knows about that. Many times they'll send them to a nursing home, right?
Mhm.
It will then also, Part A provides skilled nursing facility care.
Mhm.
In a nursing home, they will have, many nursing homes, they'll have a part of the nursing home that's for skilled nursing.
Yeah.
Now, that's not unlimited either.
Mm-mm.
There are limits that are set on all these benefits by federal regulation, state regulation, and the companies that administer these benefits. So you got to dig deep to know what you have and what you don't have. We have had on our broadcast on 3 occasions a man and his son who are in the business of Medicare, Medicaid, Medicare Complete, it's called too. And in fact, some others have had them on their shows as well. So there are people who specialize in this in your area. A good financial planner will tell you who is at the top of his or her game in interpreting Medicare benefits. So remember, hospital stays are limited, skilled nursing home stays are limited. Nursing homes care that's not custodial or long term. In other words, they will provide some nursing home care, but not for somebody who's going to go in and live there the rest of their life.
Mm-hmm.
Medicare will provide a certain amount of hospice care. You know what hospice care is? That's care for those who are dying. And it's a great service to the families because the hospice nurse will come in and do some things that nurses are equipped to do, and the average husband, wife, son, or daughter, niece or nephew, in-law or outlaw isn't equipped to do. They also have hospice chaplains. That's a nice touch. This too is subject to federal, state, and company regulations.
Mm-hmm.
Medicare Part A provides a certain amount of home health care. It's not unlimited. It has its limitations. You need to know exactly what's there. Now, as I said, all of these coverages that I mentioned they're based on federal and state laws,
Mm-hmm.
and these change about as often as people change their socks. These things change. The national coverage decisions are made by Medicare, and that's a bureaucracy second only to Social Security and the Internal Revenue Service. There are also local coverage decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Some places, believe it or not, do not accept Medicare patients.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's true.
those who do, they only accept a certain number. And the reason? Because Medicare does not pay as well or as much as private pay or other insurance. And Medicare is a type of insurance. So naturally, a healthcare provider doesn't want all Medicare patients. They want some patients who are under some other insurance coverage or who are private pay. So this coverage is also based in on local coverage decisions that are made by companies that provide the coverage. Companies, for instance, now that's Medicare Part A. Remember what I said about local coverage. We'll come back to that. Part B. See, Part A, when you get your Social Security card, you get Part A. Part B, is medically necessary services that are covered under Part B, or supplies. Now they don't cover everything. Just about 2 weeks ago, I received a brace for my right knee, since I have bone on bone there, and I don't want knee replacement surgery at my age and all that sort of thing. I was fitted for a knee brace, so that if I want to wear it to go out and take a walk, well, hopefully it would help me, but it hasn't so far. It wasn't free. Medicare Part B picked up a part of the cost, a large part of the cost, but it was still $153 and change. That's a pretty good chunk of change in my book. May not mean much to you, but $153 is a lot to me. So Medicare Part B doesn't cover all of the medical supplies and services, but it helps. It helps with preventive services to prevent illness, for instance, flu shots, or some tests to detect problems in the early stages. It helps with like blood tests and urine tests and that sort of thing. Helps with clinical research to pay the labs to do these tests. Will also help pay for an ambulance if you have to have an ambulance called. As I said, medical equipment like my brace. It'll also help to cover some mental health issues, like a therapist, or an outpatient basis, or a partial hospitalization. If somebody has a mental health issue, it will pay for some of their time in the hospital. It has limited coverage on outpatient drugs involving any medical issue. Now, that Part B isn't free. They hold out of Nancy's Social Security check every month. What is it, $170, something like that, for Medicare Part B. They hold out the same amount out of my Social Security check every month, about $170. It's $170 and change. So together, we're paying, as a married couple, a total of a little over $340 a month in insurance for health. It is not complete coverage. As I just said, I also spent $153 out of pocket expense on this knee. Now, also, when we go to, we have another coverage that we took that's free. It's called Part C. It's also called a Medicare Complete Plan. Ours happens to be with a local company, our local hospital, one of the local hospitals. They participate with a major insurance company to provide this. It is paid for by taxpayer dollars. However, it too still has room to charge you. It does make a difference on prescription drugs. If they are generic, you get them really cheap. If they're not generic, hold on to your pocketbook, because it'll come as a real shock. There's one drug that I take that is not generic, and it's priced anywhere from $700 down for a 30-day supply down to $400 for a 30-day supply. And then it comes down with Part C, with Medicare Complete, comes down to a little less than $50 a month if you're paying for it. Okay. That's still a lot of money. And some people like myself are on multiple drugs. I have 2 blood pressure drugs. I have a cholesterol medication. I have a pre-diabetes medication. I have blood thinners, and then I have this new drug that's still not generic. So you're going to find out that there's nothing really free in this world. because even with Medicare Complete, we go to see our primary care physician. This decision isn't up to her, it's up to the clinic she works for. As I go out, they note who I am, what my coverage is. I give them my credit card. And for primary care physician, in addition to what Medicare Part A and Part B would pay, in addition to what Part C pays, I pay $5 copay, it's called copay. If I see a specialist, it's $35. If I go to the emergency room, it's like $100. So, again, nothing free. Now, you will see television advertising. One of my favorites to hate is the commercial that's done by Joe Namath, the first guy as a quarterback to win a Super Bowl from the American Football League when they were the new kids on the block. And good old Joe, Broadway Joe, they called him. Most of you can relate to this because you've seen it. He talks to you so real and sincere with a smile on his face. Hi, friends, this is Joe Namath. And now, I don't think I'm open to a lawsuit here because everybody's seen this. And he says, are you getting all of the coverage you deserve? Are you getting free meals? Are you getting free trips to the doctor? Are you getting this, free dental, free this, free eyes, eyeglasses, on and on. If not, you need to call. And he gives an 800 number and he says, it's free. What he means is the call is free. What he's selling is not free. There's a difference between Medicare Complete and a Medicare Supplement. Now, listen to me. This has to do with some of you that need to be getting ready and getting educated, or help your neighbors, your friends, relatives get educated. Here's the thing. Medicare Part A, go online, see what it covers. Doesn't cover everything. Medicare Part B, check it out online, see what it covers. Does not cover everything. Part C is Medicare Complete. You pay nothing for that, but you still have to pay something at the doctor, at the pharmacy, etc. And for knee braces. Mm-hmm. There's nothing free. When Joe Namath and these other companies say it's free, they're talking about the phone call because they're wanting to sell you something called a Medicare Supplement. And that's different than anything that we've talked about. So here's what a Medicare Supplement is. It's another insurance policy. And guess how much it'll cost you? Because they say you may get as much as $170 a month added back into your Social Security check if you take Medicare, if you take this program. The program costs $170 a month. So again, there are no free lunches. Now, how dependable is that? Well, I don't know, because there's a multitude of companies offering Medicare Supplement. What if you give up your Medicare Part B? What if you give it up and take a Medicare Supplement program and that company goes out of business? What if they change the rules, raise the price? Do you know insurance rates do go up? Mm-hmm. Our household insurance rates go up. Our car insurance rates go up. What if the rate goes up? You see, be very careful. Do your due diligence. Now, so to get you ready for retirement, start at 40. Mm-hmm. And then that $500,000 will be bigger. Start at, if you're past 40, start at 45. If you're past 45, start at 50. If you're past 50, start at 55. If you're past 55, start at 60. But save everything you can. Here's a good idea for you. I used to talk about this years ago, even from the pulpit. I'd say, save all you can all you get, and sit on the can. Save all you can all you get, and then sit on the can. That's the way to get ahead. Like it or lump it. It is a fact of life. Most people don't have a money problem. They have a spending problem. If you handle it now, when it comes to retirement, if Social Security is around, it'll be gravy for you. If it's not around, you'll still be able to retire if you have the right financial planner along the way that he or she has plugged you into all the global systems available to make certain that your assets are protected, that your assets are multiplying properly, that your assets are taking care of you. It's that simple, but you have to do it. You have to start sometime. Now is a good time. Why not mark it down that on this day, May the 31st, Memorial Day 2021, Paul Collins and Nancy said, now's the time to start preparing for retirement. You do that, and if you retire a year from now, you'll look back and say, I'm glad I saw that show. Or if you do it 10 years from now. In the meantime, I remind you, go to www.ACTS, ACTS Media Group, Media, MEDIA, ACTSmediagroup.com. All kinds of good stuff there that you'll find, all kinds of good things, good information. And in fact, you'll find some of our shows archived on there. And you'll also be able to contact me through ACTSmediagroup.com, and I'll be glad to put you on my email list, and I will write you regularly and give you the best answers, the best referrals, best resources at my command. That's what I'm for. That's why we're here. And until then, and we see you about a week from today, I simply tell you, stay blessed.